All in favor? Aye. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing for the prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for every soul that is represented here tonight. Please let us keep in mind that what we are here for is the children, not to do what we want, but what's best for them. Watch over us as we go home again. Have your will and your way in our life. I ask this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Take note of the ethics statement there. If there's any conflict of interest or anything, please let us know. Do we have any public input?
No public.
And we'll go with the superintendent's report.
Budget update, don't have a lot to do there either. There's local, it's sad, but state, they're still arguing, negotiating, or whatever you wanna call it. So we don't have a budget from the state yet. Federal, we did get $162,000 frozen. Some of that's been released, and I know you all saw the lawsuits involved by the Attorney General, so, hopefully we'll get news soon that that'll come back.
Was it 30-some states?
I think so, yeah. So that's budget updates. EC contracts, there's just continuing contracts from last year. Bo Edwards, speech language therapist, Jenny Brooks, speech language therapist, and Yada, nursing services. So I just asked the board to approve the same, and John Trevino, approve the same contracts that we had last year for this.
Do I have a motion to approve these contracts? Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Item C is capital project and construction update. Still on schedule for the athletic facility, should be September 1st. Everything's still going good. I walked up there yesterday and there's probably 50, 60 people working inside that building. It's hard to walk around the building because there were so many workers going at it. They started on the sidewalks at the high school today. The section that they did looked beautiful. Can't see any cracks or chewing gum or dirt or anything else now. Looks really, really good. What was that coating called, Justin, they put on top of it? What was the name of it? It's like an epoxy. It's got a 15-year warranty on it. So if anything happens good in 15 years, they'll come back and fix it, replace it, or whatever. They put like purple and silver flakes in it, and it looks really, really good.
Can they seal that gravel around the middle school?
They can't. We asked about that, but that would be nice to do that, but they can't. But it looks really good. They have worked over at the new school. They cut that curve off, I know, on the front where you come out, and it was so hard getting out into the other lane. They took the curve off. They'll be repaving there. Then around behind where they didn't anticipate the length of vehicles for parking, they made about another 3-4 feet there too that they'll be paving. So that looks good. But everything seems to be on schedule. HVAC is still going at the high school. I think they got the lunchroom, the cafeteria, and the locker rooms turned on. They were ice cold, I think, were they just of all the heat that y'all had up there all summer. I know it's been very hot on the office staff and Justin and all of them up there, but I think those, it might be where you've just been without air conditioning so long it felt ice cold, but it was running good. So I always worry when you're gonna have it before school starts. They keep saying they are, but that's always in the back of my mind. So.
Well, somebody asked me the other day if Mitchell was gonna start late because no air conditioning.
I said, hope not, so, but they tell me they're on schedule. And we'll keep pushing them and ask them basically every other day if they're still on schedule. So that's the capital project construction update. Harris Middle School property. Harris is a unique property. And I know, we had an offer back early from Starling's group, and they ran into a lot of if a new owner takes it over, it has to be ADA compliant, a lot of the issues, and that still stands, and that's really what is discouraging a buyer. I've met with EDC Director Bill Sparks, or Bill Slagle, and, talk to him, meet with the town manager tomorrow morning to look at the property. But, an idea sort of came to me, and I did, Chair Pittman and myself went over and looked at Harris, and I met with, EDC Director, Slagle, and we looked at Harris, and I want to talk to the town council tomorrow. So, an idea was to, since nothing has to change if we maintain ownership, is to look at from the office down, wherever a wall is out there that we could tear down. Basically, the school from that point down, and then put a metal building below there, and that'd be our construction carpentry class. And then there's 3 classrooms up the hall. We could use that for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, training. Talked to Keegan Anderson at Malin, and they're all in on this idea about doing even night classes for the community and so on. And then our maintenance department could move to the 2 rooms underneath the library there. And I think it would be minimal. We would need a new roof, of course, and then we have to put air heat units into the windows. And all this would be, we'd have to seek grants to do this, and then we'd have to have buy-in from the community. But that's a direction that we're gonna try to explore and see if it's feasible. I did talk to the architects, they looked at it, and they said it's very feasible, they've seen that done before. Of course, we'd have to get a price on demolition, see what that would cost. But that would be maintaining the lunchroom as a commercial kitchen, maintaining the auditorium, maintaining the gym, those 3 classrooms, turning the other 2 into maintenance. Then we'd have the library in that room for whatever purposes we want to use that for, of course, the office space. Then any other rooms below before we got to the solid wall down there. So that's a vision that I have, and we're going to seek grant funding to do that. We're going to work with community leaders on doing that. We're going to work with the EDC on doing that. We're going to work with business leaders on doing that, because I talked to Stephanie Whitson, who works as an electrician, and she said she could hire 12 more tomorrow and put them to work. So that'd be a good feeder program for our electricians, our plumbers, our construction people. So that's an idea we're going to explore and see if we can't turn that property into something that's really good for our community and really good for the neighbors that are around there, and make them an appealing building, and we can afford to upkeep that. Some of the ideas that came up were, a tiny house village on that upper field after we built them, tiny house village on that lower field after we built them, and then we could rent those properties, and that could be income to help support the new trade school.
Well, I know somebody right now, they'd be willing to rent the gym part of the time.
Yeah. But right now, it's just a thought, it's just an idea, but that's the way things start. And we're gonna push with that, go with that, and see what we get. Of course, I'll bring back, it's gonna be, it's from now to, I would say, up to 5-year project, but hopefully sooner than that, but that's a goal that we have out there.
What did you say would be done on that far end?
That'd be you're basically building your tiny homes, your construction.
That'd be like for building and stuff.
Yes. And there's enough room down below that you can bring tractor trailers in and turn around and unload the materials and that kind of thing. So the building's very clean now. The group that came in and used it for about 3 weeks, they cleaned the school. It's very, very neat, very, very organized, and very, very clean. All the leaks that we've had have been addressed, and I've been trying to keep a check on it, make sure lights are cut off so we're not paying high electrical bills and those kind of things. We are running air in a couple of the rooms, just low, just keep it not get too hot in there, because there's still some toys and some items that we're going to use for the Christmas for our kids that were donated last year that we just had excess of that will go into this year. So that's a vision. That's just something that we'll hopefully be able to bring back to you, nail down a little bit more, and I'll continue meeting with people and getting their ideas, getting their feedback, and hopefully that'll be something good for our community in the future, and put that property to good use. And I'm very pleased with what Deacon's doing. I don't know if y'all got to see the video of the Baptist mission up there, but I think it's getting ready to open. That's outstanding. That's the use of the school we closed. And then very proud of what's happening at Bowman, because it's getting ready to be used for the county. And I think we did a good job when we consolidated those 3 schools. We have plans, and there's gonna be eyesores or buildings torn down, or they're gonna be used by the community, or used by the county, or used by different groups. So this is a plan for Harris, which is the hardest one because of the challenges, but if we maintain ownership, maybe we can help the community and partner with people to do that. So I'll be getting a price on what the demolition will cost in the near future. I know there's a couple of groups that are certified to do demolition, so we're just sort of getting a rough estimate of what it would cost to do that in the near future. We'll be bringing that updates back to the board as we get that. So to me, that's good news, and hopefully that's just something we can do good for our county in the future. Turn it over to Ms. Gregory.
So the first thing I have is a pre-K update. So Monica Howe, the lead child care consultant, came on July the 8th and completed the pre-licensing checklist. And so that we will have the temporary license on August the 6th for the Gooch pre-K classroom. So the temporary license is for 6 months, and during those 6 months, there'll be 3 unannounced visits to ensure compliance. Until the temporary license is issued on July 6th, they cannot advertise for the Gooch classroom yet. But there are 11 students who have shown interest in the pre-K classroom for Gooch, and the pre-K classroom at Greenlee is full for this coming year. So that is very exciting. Next thing on the agenda is Taylor Bowmore. So I think that if you had told Taylor this time last year that she would be getting up doing something like this, that she would have said absolutely not. I would never do that. But it has been so much fun to watch Taylor grow as a teacher and a professional this school year after being named Northwest Teacher of the Year. And so she's going to give us just a little bit of update tonight. What she's doing is amazing. She still will be teaching in her classroom all this year, but she has a packed schedule as well, doing things as the Northwest Teacher of the Year. So she just wanted to share a little bit about what she's going to be doing and about what she has been doing and some ideas she has for Mitchell County Schools. So.
First, I just want to say thank you for having me, and thank you to Jennifer for inviting me. This is something that she's said is absolutely not what I thought I would be doing, but I'm also very honored to be doing it. And so the slogan on the front, Rooted in Rising, is the slogan for my 2025 regional cohort. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that later, but more than anything, I want to be an advocate for the Northwest and most importantly, Mitchell County. So it's not about me, it's about everybody else here, and how I can help just shine a light on our county and the things that we need. So back in January, I had my regional announcement. Many of you were there. That was at Greenlee, and that was after a process of being interviewed by the county, submitting a portfolio, having a virtual interview, and then a 3-hour-long site visit, and then a 20-minute-long educator highlight interview. So it was a long, and we had 42 days of snow. So it took a long time, but then after that, I went to the state interview in Raleigh in an onboarding session, which was at the Boroughs Welcome Fund building, and that was the interview, and then the next day was basically classes to teach you kind of what your role will be as a regional teacher of the year, and the types of things that you might be asked to do throughout the year. So that was in Raleigh. And if you have not ever been to the Boroughs Welcome Fund building, try to go. It is amazing. And then we had the Teacher of the Year announcement day. That was in April. And if you haven't got a chance to watch that, it's awesome. Not to watch me, but to watch all the other teachers and the things that they were doing regionally, and to also see the differences and ideas that we could get from other regions as well. So obviously it was not named Teacher of the Year, but it was Teacher of the Year, and so the year coming up, I still have a lot of traveling and opportunities. So from that point, I've been to the NC Executive Mansion twice. One time was for an event to celebrate teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week, and I got to meet Governor Josh Stein and his wife, and Mo Green was also there as well. And I specifically got to talk to Josh Stein about him going on the Stephen Colbert show and talking about our region and coming and spending money here. So that was a really cool connection to make with him. I also was on an interview for the Public Education Forum. The Education Matters is a TV show, TV series is what they call it, / podcast. So they broadcast those on YouTube. Both of those are linked here also, so if you wanted me to send you this and you could watch it, I can do that, but you also don't have to. But I was honored to be able to speak on that, to speak specifically to the struggles that rural schools have with funding and lack of funding and things that we need, and having hurricanes when we never thought there would be a hurricane, and things like that, where other districts have lots of things in place to help them, whereas we might not, and how we need more. And then I went to NCAT, which was the most amazing thing I think I've done as an educator thus far. The whole week was spent with my whole regional team as well as the principals of the year. And we specifically talked about our leadership styles and how we can use our leadership this next year to help our region, our counties, and our districts specifically, especially when we are going to Raleigh and talking to the governor or other people who are invested in public education, and just making sure that they know who Mitchell County is and they know the things that we need. So this was the slogan that I was talking about. It is called Rooted and Rising. So it reflects the idea of great teaching begins with deep roots, and that's something that I have specifically been very passionate about since I started teaching. Is I truly don't believe kids are going to learn until you create those deep connections and those deep roots with them. I can tell you dogs' names, ants' names, their favorite stuffed animal, and when you learn all of those things and connect to those deep roots, then they will rise for you and learn for you and grow for you. And so from that point, or from my perspective of being in a classroom in Mitchell County schools, rising also through the Northwest and Raleigh and other districts to just shine a light on the really amazing things that we're doing here, and the new school that we have built, and the new softball field and baseball field. Like, we have a lot of stuff happening, and there's a lot of people who don't know about it. And so just staying rooted in where I'm from, but also trying to rise and shine a light on us and what's going on here. I'm honored to also be a part of EPFP, which is the North Carolina Education Policy Fellowship Program. And so throughout the next year, I will be able to go to retreats and different policy meetings to actually talk about policy and share ideas of how I think policy should be shaped to best help our district and our region. So there's several different retreats that will go on this year. One of them specifically will be in Washington, so I'll be in Washington in February with EPFP, and we'll get to have really in-depth conversations about policy that maybe is in place right now or policy coming out in the future, and just sharing the voice of what kind of policies would help us moving forward. And to also add to that, if there's something coming up like an EPFP retreat, I would love for you to email me and say, these are the things that we need, or this is the money that we need, we want people to come see us do this. I don't know it all. So I would love for you to email me or call me or whatever and say, while you're there, please bring this up and see what you can find out. I was also asked to be on Josh Stein's Teacher Advisory Council. I'm actually going to Raleigh on July 29th to be sworn in for that, and that will be a 2-year term. And so basically I'll just have a seat at the table to do the same thing as EPFP, but to directly engage with Governor Stein and his council and just advocate for Mitchell County and the Northwest and our teachers here and admin here and all of the people here who are working so hard. So same thing with this. If I have, we have quarterly meetings, some of them will be virtual and some of them will be in person. And I'll either let Jennifer or Chad and Shane, I've let all of them know when I'm going places. But if I have an event coming up and I'm going to serve on that council and there's ideas that you have for his council moving forward, I would love to hear them so I can share them with him. So these are just some of the upcoming things I have. On the 29th, swearing in for the Teacher Advisory Council. August 4th, I have an interview with Ed NC, and they're going to be interviewing the whole regional team, and then that article will come out. August 7th, I will have an introduction and a recognition at the state board meeting in Raleigh, and then on August 8th, we'll have a recognition and kind of a orientation / training at the Borough's Welcome Fund. Now, this is the idea that I had, and Jennifer's helping me with this. But I want to create a Mitchell County Teacher Advisory Council, and I've actually already emailed some of the people for this, but I've asked all of the teachers of the year from each school in our county, as well as the beginning teacher of the year, the CTE teacher of the year, and Christine Magro. Yes, so I switched the Farm Bureau teacher of the year. And so basically what we would love to do is meet once a month, talk about cool things going inside of our schools or the cool things that we're doing, share ideas, but also create an agenda and come here and talk to you at your Board of Education meetings. I would love to solidify some communication between you all and the teachers, because I think sometimes things get broken down and people get mad and it's not how it's supposed to be meant. And so I'd just love for us to meet face to face and say, this is what we got going on, we would love for you to come visit, that type of thing, just to create a stronger relationship between you all and the staff in the schools. So meeting with the members once a month, I'll send an agenda to Jennifer or somebody at the county office. We plan to also invite county office staff to some of our meetings so we can kind of collaborate with them as well, and then attend as many of these meetings as we can to talk to you all. So building off of that, we have created a QR code so you can scan it now, or I can share it with you all through email, and it just takes you to a Google form requesting to visit schools. So we would love for you to come into our schools and to see the stuff that we have going on. And I know a lot of you pop in randomly sometimes, but we would love to, if you want to visit and see some things happening, you can fill out this form of days that you were free that you would like to come, what you would like to see. So maybe you want to see me in 2nd grade, or you want to see something happening in the library. That way, when you do come, we can make the most of your time and make it most beneficial for you and for us. But we would just love for you to come as much as you are willing. So if you would like to come, this form will be shared with all of the principals as well as the teacher council, so we can kind of communicate back and forth with that as well. And we can also kind of give you a heads up of some of the things we might be doing when you come, and that way if you would also just want to come in and volunteer or hang out or whatever it might be, you can kind of be more informed about that before you actually come. If you have any questions for me, or if you ever want to email me before I have stuff coming up, please do so. Thank you.
If you could email us that, all, the
Yes.
information you were talking about, that would be great.
Click those two little squares. Okay. So like I said, Taylor has done so much, since being named Regional Teacher of the Year in January. It's exciting to see, how she's representing Mitchell County across our state. The next thing we have is NCAT update, from our trip last week. I just wanted to share with you, very quickly about our administrator, trip to Ocracoke, NCAT last week. It was from Sunday, so we left at 5 a.m. Sunday morning, so we could make the ferries, and, our session started at 4:30 on Sunday night. So we went from Sunday night to Wednesday night, and then we came back Thursday, morning. So, we took all of our principals, Amber, Adrian, Christy, Jason, Cole, and Susan were our principals who went, so we focused on the leadership with our principals. We asked all of our staff members who either have a school administration degree or are working on a school administration degree to go as teacher leaders. So Samantha Dell, Jessica Dover, Ashley Glenn, Whitney Ledford, and Zach Snyder went. Kevin, Shayna, and I went from the central office. And then our presenters were Dr. Jill Reinhardt. She's retired associate superintendent from, I think, Allegheny, somewhere up in the Northwest. Aaron Green, who just retired as superintendent from Polk County. And then Brittany Knight, who works for Maxwell Leadership Institute. So this was the picture they took at NCAT with all the participants and presenters.
I got to do that twice and
It's great.
it's great.
So, our week was focused on, we used the book, The Energy Bus for Schools, and that's what our sessions were focused on, being leaders in the school. So the 5 things were: fuel your ride with positive energy, invite others on the bus, no vampires allowed, look through the windshield, and drive with purpose. And I think that as we talked about those, one thing we really talked about with looking through the windshield was the past, the year of the hurricane is behind us, and so we really want to focus on moving into the future now, and looking forward. So there we all have the bus, and who brought a bus cut out, so we all have pictures of the bus. So you can see here, working throughout the week, it was a lot of hands-on, and every day also, the presenters would switch our groups up, and so you were not sitting by the same person in the same table every single day, so it gave us all a chance to work with everybody at all different levels. So you had the elementary and the high school, and everybody was working with everybody to build that team. You can see down here also, we did a leadership activity about what your leadership style was. It was the north, south, east, and west, and so then we were in groups based on the quiz that we did, which one we were most like, and then we did activities with that. Those opportunities for planning for the upcoming school year, so you can see Christy and Jason with their teacher leaders working together. And it was just a whole lot of hands-on talking. Reflection was a big thing. We talked a lot about results, collaboration, leadership, aspirations, strengths, culture, the opportunities and relationships. So we started on Sunday night. We went from 4 till 6 on Sunday, and we had dinner, and then we came back and worked for about another hour Sunday night. And then each day we would start with breakfast at 8. We would have our sessions from 9 till 12, lunch at 12, a reflection time from 1 to 3, and then come back from 3 to 6 and work again until dinner at 6. So it was a lot of time to be in with this, learning and talking about the energy bus and all these different activities. So there was a lot of time in the classroom, but just as important, I think, was the time that we had outside of the classroom and the learning. So I will say, before we went, it was a lot to get ready to go. I mean, personally, I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Even though my kids are older, I think that's even harder because they think that they can take care of themselves, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for that. But everybody had families and kids trying to make these arrangements before we went. And so then when we finally got there, it was like, oh gosh, this is really going to be good. But I don't think anybody expected, and Shana can say this, can talk about this too, about how good that it really was, at the time that we had with each other. And there was no, this group does this, it's in, they're an inclusive little group and they just go off and do their thing, and this group's doing their thing. It was like we were all together all week long. If you wanted to do this, you went with this group. But most of the time we all stuck together. And it was, I think, the best team building experience that I've ever been a part of with a school group. So you can see on Tuesday night, we, up in this top corner, we went to, on a ghost tour and a ghost walk around Overcoat. On Monday night, one of the men who had grown up on Overcoat took us on a boat ride out to Clement Island and around Overcoat. We went and we rode bikes to the lighthouse, and then going down, I thought, well, we need to rent some bikes so people will have them to get around, or if they just want to go explore. So I started, and I rented 4 bicycles, and I said, you want to go out, these bikes are here, go get a bicycle and explore whenever you want to. Well, after the Monday afternoon after lunch, and I went out, everybody was out there to get a bike. There were only 4 that I had rented, so we rented more bikes, and we had groups that went on bike rides at 6 o'clock in the morning. Shane and I went at 6 o'clock one morning. We went out to the point where Blackbeard was killed, and then they were riding bikes till sunset when we had the free time during the night. So that's how we got around the island. And you can just see the togetherness, the fun that we had outside of the classroom, which I think is very important in carrying going into this new school year, and being a team and working together, and something that they had never had been able to do outside of Mitchell County and being principals. On social media, nobody said to any of these people, go back and tell about your experience on social media, or say anything about it. But then as I started looking, everybody who does social media and went had started posting, and a lot of these are just what they had shared the post from NCAT, or they had put their own pictures underneath. But this is just like true testimonials to what the week was for everybody. This was the most amazing week and provided great PD. Thanks, NCAT. What a great week. I had the privilege of spending several days with an incredible group of current and future Mitchell County Schools administrators at NCAT. What a blessing it was to be given the time to show our leadership skills, reflect, and prepare for the 25-26 school year. I'm feeling rested, rejuvenated, and more excited than ever to kick off the new academic year. Mr. Chester put it was the best professional development I have ever attended. If you're an educator, I highly recommend a trip to NCAT. Thank you, NCAT, for allowing us this opportunity. Mine's at the top. Got carried away a little bit. Adrian Snyder, such an amazing week. Thank you, NCAT. Susan Hawkins, what an amazing week. NCAT never disappoints. Thank you. Samantha Dale, a great week with a wonderful group of people. And Jessica Dover, such a beautiful place. It was a great week. Thank you, Mitchell County Schools. So they had all posted this on their own social media pages about the impact that the week had on them. So I just want to say how much we appreciate the opportunity to go. I think Mr. Calhoun set this up for us about over a year ago.
It's about 14 months to get it scheduled.
About a year ago for us. And then we met and prepared with the presenters, but I just wanted wanted to show you what the week was like, for us and how meaningful and impactful it was. And how I truly feel like our principals are, better leaders now. And they are more together in a team than they were 2 weeks ago before it, so.
I want to say a special thank you to Dr. Longle for working with us. This is the third time we've done this since I've been superintendent. And we take, the first 2 times, we took teacher leaders each time. I went the very first time, and I think Mark Hughes and Jeffrey Miller took a group the second time, and then Jennifer and Gavin and Shane in particular this time. Every time, and I can tell you this too, in my 30+ years of service, this is the best PD that I ever had. And the same thing you're hearing from them, is the best PD they ever had. So it's something we want to continue. And I can tell you, negotiating with Brock is tough, but this did not cost Mitchell County Schools one dime. We were able to pay the minimum cost if they got it negotiated down through grants. We were able to travel to Ocracoke, have to be fed meals, board, and get this great PD for basically free. And all 3 times, that's the way it's been. So we'll continue working on it next year. My plan is I'd love to do one in the spring with 2 members of the board. So be thinking, Mr. Pittman, who you want the 2 members to go, and the central office team. And gear it just a little bit different, but also doing it to Ocracoke. So it's something I'm already started working on Brock on that, but I think you all would enjoy it too. If there's some way we could talk John into figuring it, all 5 of us go, we could do it. I don't know how we could do that, but maybe we could. I don't know. You could ask him the legality of it, but I think it'd be great for the board to get together to that too. It's a great training. It's intense. It's not easy. It's intense. Like Jennifer said, they keep you there. They say 8 o'clock at night, don't they?
Yeah.
Several nights, and but it's well worth it. You don't realize, even though all the hours you spend doing the PD and the fun things too, it goes by so quick, and you wish you had another week. But it's really good training, and I hope we get to do that. If it's not this spring, I'll keep working on it and get us a date. But it's outstanding PD. But we do thank Rob for working with Mitchell County, and he knows, it's been a small school system. We can't afford what the Charlotte Mex and all them can, and he works with us on that. And I appreciate him doing that.
I heard some great feedback from the training and the drills, so that's awesome. Got to go.
Even if it did cost the school system, I think money ought to be allotted to do it, because, it's just like Jennifer was talking about, the principals and the personnel, and everybody not only learning something, and like Chad said, it's a hard sort of thing, but the fellowship y'all have together, makes you closer for the school year, and the pluses just outnumber the negative. I mean, it's good, even if they could. It ought to be designated as expense or something.
Jennifer and I talked. The fun things are just as important as the PD, because that builds relationships. And you see a different side of people. A different came back and said, "Oh, I didn't realize that person's like that." And you just see a different side of the person. You get to know them. Trust is built. It's just much better. So Jennifer did a great job playing the fun things. So I think they had a good time.
You ain't get seafood when you were down
We had, crab one night. They fed us like a crab casserole one night. I think that over half of our group didn't eat seafood though.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they altered our menu the last night a little bit because our group didn't eat seafood. They never had shrimp. We compared menus. Yeah, but the food was outstanding that we had there.
All right.
Personnel.
Yeah, maybe we'll go into closed session, have a motion to go into closed session. Have a second.